Hi, it's Sonia. Welcome back to my art channel. Today I'm going to do another 10-minute piece of art. It's going to be abstract and it's going to be watercolour because I thought I'll keep it simple. And basically I've been getting into watercolour abstracts I've got a few, maybe I'll show them in another video. But I just wanted to show this one because this came out of, and this is more than 10 minutes, but it came out of this sort of style of playing about with watercolour in both this sketchbook and I've got another one actually as well, but I can't reach it. So let's crack on and have a go at, I think what I'm going to have a go at doing is either something like this in 10 minutes or I really enjoyed this last night. So yeah, let's have a go. Let's see where we go. This one is quite fun because you can do a very loose, just playing about with the colours, seeing how they merge into each other. And then just to say with this, I do let them dry and then I come on and add a bit of detail, which is another fun. And you could do another 10 minutes the next day once it's dry. But this one you can sort of do in one session as well. So I need, and I've used this set because it's a Mozart watercolour set that's pretty reasonable and I like it because it's kind of like quite saturated colours. Is my sketchbook in the right place to do this? Yes. I like it because you get a lovely range of colours and you've got the neons and also you've got metallics that I really do rather enjoy in abstract work. Okay, and then one brush, I'm going to try and use, actually I'll use a couple of brushes, I've got two here. These two should be good enough. But I need my, so I can keep an eye on the time. Okay, ready, let's go. So yeah, this is hopefully one, hopefully you're making some art at home. Now, because it's 10 minutes, I just want to get going. So yeah, this is a mixed media. This is the mixed media Artesia sketchbook that I've used a lot in the past for sort of looser still lifes and landscapes. I've got one ongoing, but this one I'm using particularly for abstracts. So the idea to begin with is just to play about with getting, that's weird, I thought it was going to be brown but it's green. Making the marks, putting paint on. Also like these sets, these sort of Japanese style sets, because they don't have a mixing palette. And you can mix, look, I have mixed with them before, get a glass plate, or I mean a ceramic plate. But actually, if you want to just get going and you don't want to think about colour theory or mixing up different colours, okay, I've just dirtied this yellow. But hey ho. But yes, you just get to blend them in. I mean, you can blend within the watercolour. So for example, let's see what would happen if I then, so you could just mix on top, make your own green within the piece. So some areas I'm going to have very wet. As I say, I think I really want to have a go at doing, I really liked this piece. So I need to try and remember how to do it, and that's, I've got 8 minutes now. I'll take up like 30 seconds if I'm not careful clipping. Page back. Yeah, and a big brush is fun because these are not as big. This particular set does not have those big pans that you get with some of the nice Japanese sets, but it's still, I feel like a nice size to get a bigger brush into and swish around in compared to sort of the traditional half-pound sets. And this exercise for me is just about relaxing, trying not to think too much about design. Some people may say that is apparent, but it's, for me, I think it's more relaxing to just enjoy the paint and the, I feel like when I'm trying to do, if I'm doing too realistic art with watercolours, and I'm concentrating a lot on the drawing and, you know, like a traditional landscape, it sounds weird, but I'm more thinking about the outcome and how do I, you know, use the watercolours in the correct way. It's annoying if I then overwork it, or whereas with this it's just about the enjoyment of, you know, these sort of accidents and the paint, not caring really about. I'll tell you something though, I don't want to do too complex a design here. I want to try and keep it simple so I can have time to come in and go in a bit heavier. As I did on that other page. So there's the knowledge that even if I don't like a particular, I can still, the nice thing with these sort of Japanese watercolors, yeah, sometimes you do have to let them dry. This one's going to be a bit weird because I'm not, in 10 minutes, and I do want to get this spread kind of finished. I haven't got the opportunity to come back in and do sort of let it dry and then do some really defined, more saturated marks on top as with the other piece. I'm trying to just jump about with the colours. Yeah, so these, I do love it when I get into just on the basis of, you know, you get your sketchbook out and you just have a play, and then you're like, oh, I want to do more, and then you get a whole sort of series of or weeks of just mucking around doing that one subject but in different ways, and then it grows and it becomes something else, which is another fun aspect to like the abstract genre. I think the same can be done with realism, because obviously, like again last week I got into florals and those just grew, and I did the same thing again and again and again, and then I do it till I get bored, quite frankly, and then I need a break and I go and do something else. Well, I've got 4 minutes now. 10 minutes is not long, but sometimes 10 minutes is all you have. So I get that. So what I want to do now, with this small brush really, so I sort of, with the work on the preceding page, sort of went in and almost coloured in areas, but I tried to make the paint more opaque. Another way, if you feel this is not going to be finished enough, and this is to work on a smaller size sketchbook, because then you could get more, if you like details, if you like fiddly, more going into the little lines. But this size sketchbook is great if actually you are overcomplicating things and you want to not make things too maximalist. You want to have a bit more of a, or have the opportunity to have a simple page, but then come in, just let this dry, and then you could do 10 minutes every day on one piece, and then you will end up with a completely more detailed spread. That would be quite fun, because every day it's going to change and you're not going to know how it goes, because I assume with this sort of work, maybe you're like me, it's going to be very based on sort of intuition and just how you feel on that day. So yeah, you could end up with, you know, you don't know where it's going to go. See, if I go really, once these paints, another idea is to spray them so you get them a bit wet, because once they get very wet, they become almost, if you use them really thickly, like super vibrant and saturated, which I struggle to get this sort of effect, obviously, with sort of like my Cotman watercolour palette. Yeah, so I really enjoy the colours here. So yeah, I hope wherever you are, you're enjoying your 10-minute art project. We've got 1 minute 57 left. Okay, I really want to use some of this. Italics on top. Because you do really, when you turn the pages, I love the sheen and then the feel of it getting buckled, and you know, this is thicker paper, but it obviously with the, if I use the watercolour in a much more heavier way, I water them down, then you do get that sort of mild buckling, which I don't mind. Last minute or so. I'm gonna add these shapes in. So I think I'm gonna come back to this one, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. And I probably will, yeah, come into it with, I think what I've learned through this exercise, and I've got 37 seconds, is to use the 10 minutes, so I learned something, to get down the basic sort of shapes, and then I can let this, yeah, that has completely ended up not how I expected. I can let this now, got 20 seconds on it anymore, let this dry and then come back to it later. You can tell which colours I like, can't you? I don't know why I use that neon blue so much. Whoa, okay. Why is it not stopping? Okay, it stopped. And I probably should have stopped, shouldn't I? But anyway. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, that is actually, you know, quite fun. And I love how, even on this sort of mixed media paper, you get, with this set of watercolours, you really do get some, you know, accidental blooms, the bleeding in. So yeah, it's super fun. And that's what I kind of enjoy with abstract watercolour. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm going to try and keep this video short. So I'll say bye, and I'll see you in the next video.